Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday Mull for Thursday the 21st of May, Ascension Day. The reading for Ascension is taken from Acts, where Luke tells people that the disciples had met with Jesus numerous times after his resurrection, and he'd given many convincing proofs he was alive. They'd eaten with him, they touched him, etc. And then on a certain day he meets with them on the mountain and says to them they will receive power from the Holy Spirit to do the work he's commissioned them to do. And in verse 9 of chapter 1 he says, after he said this, he was taken up before their very eyes, and a cloud hid him from their sight. And as they were looking intently up into the sky as he was going, when suddenly two men dressed in white stood beside them, men of Galilee, they said, why do you stand looking up into the sky? The same Jesus who has been taken from you into heaven will come back in the same way you've seen him go into heaven. Now, we know that you can go up and heaven isn't up. Yuri Gagarin went up and came back and said, oh, we've been to heaven, there is no God there. The Hubble Space Telescope has looked across the heavens, billions of light years away, and all we see are more and more galaxies and the great and glorious majesty of God displayed in the heavens, but not God. Because heaven must be outside of the universe, outside of space and time, completely different to anything that we can relate to. But when the disciples were alive, they didn't know this. They had a completely different worldview, and in their worldview, heaven was up. And so God, accommodating himself to their worldview, takes Jesus up before their eyes, and the clouds hide him from their sight. So for them, there was no doubt from that point onwards that Jesus had gone into heaven. If it merely disappeared, they wouldn't have known where he was. Maybe he'd gone somewhere else. Maybe he was with the Philistines. Maybe he was with the Romans. But the fact that he went up spoke to them clearly that he was in heaven. And for me, the encouraging thing is that God knows our limitations and accommodates them. He comes to us where we are, with what we can cope with, and in a sense dumbs himself down so that people like me can understand him a little bit and come to know him a little bit more. And that is always an encouragement. So today on Ascension Day, know that Jesus has gone to heaven, maybe not up, but he is at God's right hand side interceding for us. And that is our hope and our glory. Have a blessed day.